Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.
Well, time for the fact that makes your brain go. And something you might be eating right now takes 16 hours to make, and you just may down it in like literally a second or two. It feels kind of sad for the person that made that for 16 hours, one thing, and it just goes right down.
That's how I feel cooking dinner for my family, because it usually takes me like a little over 2 hours to
Yeah.
make like a full-blown real dinner, right?
Right.
And everyone's done in like 7 minutes.
Like, dum.
Yeah, extras, this, that, and I'm like, all right, now I'll spend about an hour and a half cleaning. It
Yeah.
just seems like it just sucks.
No one takes a bite and goes like, I sense the seasonings in this. There's oregano.
They don't do like a taste test, like how you do with wine. They don't smell it and then like lick it and then like
Lick it?
I don't know.
They don't lick it.
You just like let it sit on your tongue for a minute.
Yeah, you let it, you marinate.
Yeah, let it marinate on your tongue. Yeah, just
wine.
to see what's really going on in there.
Yeah. You swish it around.
Wilbur the pig in the studio? What's going on over there?
Oh, well, really, in theory, we all eat too fast. We're supposed to like really slow down, and you'll fill up faster. Your brain is like 15 minutes behind your stomach.
Yes.
So if you eat slower, you'll fill up faster and eat less.
See?
But when you shove it all in,
And they do, boy. I have a house full of boys. I swear, I make everyone's like plate because they just don't know how to do it right, and it bothers me because you like with the seasonings and the top, whatever.
Sure.
So I make everyone's plate, and then there are times that then I finally get mine and I sit down and they already want more. And I'm like,
Yeah.
So they're having seconds and I haven't had firsts.
yeah.
This is tough.
Yeah,
I'm like, okay, I'll stand back up again.
So,
It's awesome.
so 16 hours to make this snack. Kenzie thinks the snack is ribs in your car.
Well, I love, what the hell? You guys never snack also ribs?
Well, last week, thanks to Twin Anchors, we had ribs to eat, but I took them home and ate them sitting down. I call that a meal.
I snacked all weekend. I will grab like, 1 or 2 ribs here and there.
Well, trust me, I got home with those ribs Friday, and I said to Megan, well, this will be dinner. I go to the bathroom, I come back, she's going like, I go, oh, so this is lunch then, right?
You married the Cookie Monster?
Yeah. And then we just basically ate them all the ribs, and they go, okay, that was lunch then. I guess there's no dinner with these ribs. I can't eat like 1 or 2 ribs. We're eating the slab. I'm eating all of them.
See, I can have 1 or 2 ribs. I was just, like a little popper.
No, I can't do it.
Clean the bone, baby.
They were so good. In Case thinks it's a banana, a snack that takes 16 hours because to grow it all the way in.
I'm not saying I'm right. It's just what I think.
Well, the answer is something that takes 16 hours to make and you might eat it in 1 second is an M&M. One M&M takes 16 hours to make. Now, here's the difference on that. They can make 1 billion in a day with the machines that they do. But it takes...
Well, that doesn't add up.
Well, no, because
How many machines are there?
it's a lot. That's what I'm saying. Like they can make 1 billion in a day, but it takes 16 hours to make one M&M.
Why?
The process. I mean, M&Ms are good.
I don't like M&Ms.
Oh, whoa!
I don't.
You don't like M&Ms?
Don't punch it. Brian hit me in the face.
I don't like zebra cakes and bananas, but all of a sudden you don't like M&Ms?
I don't like M&Ms. I like them in monster cookies.
What's a monster cookie?
A monster cookie is when you have like chocolate chips, M&Ms, oatmeal, like the big like full ones.
So everything in there.
Yeah, almost like an everything but the kitchen sink cookie type vibes.
Do you get those at malls?
I make them.
Oh,
so I don't know.
La-di-da.
Well, sorry, but I'm sorry that I bake cookies. But so I like them like in things, but I will not sit down and let me grab an M&M. I find that disgusting.
You like it like in a Blizzard or a McFlurry?
Yeah, like I'll do that. It can be an accessory. It cannot be the main item.
It's almost like a condiment.
Yes.
Okay.
It can be an addition to, but I can't. It does nothing. It's like when people are like, "Oh, let me buy a Hershey bar." I'm like, "Why?" I don't like plain milk chocolate.
Okay.
I like a Hershey bar in a s'more.
Sure.
Now it's doing something. Now we're cooking. Okay, let's go.
Case, what's your take on M&Ms?
Well, first of all, let me just defend Hershey bars for just a second. I love a raw Hershey's bar. They're
Ew.
delicious. But
Ew.
I don't ever go for the plain M&M. Now, I'll eat a plain M&M. Won't complain. But what I'm looking for is either the yellow bag or the royal blue bag. The peanut M&M or the pretzel M&M, 2 of my favorite snacks. A long road trip, you're in the car for 6 hours, you stop halfway, you're getting a bag of M&Ms and it's going to absolutely deliver.
There's also caramel M&Ms.
I don't want those. I have no interest.
There's also peanut butter M&Ms.
See, now
interest.
we're doing something.
Yeah,
Okay,
which
now,
is really Reese's Pieces.
right.
But they're good.
But
You're right. I never thought about that.
It's the same thing.
Kind of biting the style.
Yeah.
Those I like, again, because now it's a thing. Now we're doing something. I just don't like it plain. I don't like it raw. I don't like raw M&Ms. But can I tell you a really funny story about the different flavors of M&Ms?
Didn't expect this morning.
I know.
Let's go ahead.
I didn't know this. I never know the answers to the facts. These come out of nowhere. So my mom always used to have like outs in the kitchen, like a bowl, a mini bowl, like a candy bowl, right? That's like a super parent thing to do.
Also
And-
a grandma thing. There's always like that, and you wonder how long they're there.
Yeah, my mom kept it fresh. She ain't playing around. But it was a bowl of peanut M&Ms normally, like in a cute little candy dish. And my brother grabbed a handful of them, put them in his mouth, and the face that he made, and he spit them everywhere. He's like, "Oh my God, there's something wrong with these. Oh my God, like they're like dust in my mouth." My mom goes, "They're pretzel M&Ms." He thought the peanuts like burst and they were that old, and he spit it everywhere.
Oh, God.
And it's so funny that when your mind's because they didn't taste bad, they taste delicious. Like the pretzel ones are good, but when you're expecting a peanut and you have a pretzel, what he thought. I mean, he thought that peanut burst into dust. He was like,
Like spiders are going to come out of his mouth. Like, yeah.
The kitchen counter was littered with peanut residue. It was horrible. Pretzel residue. It was disgusting.
And meanwhile, they were delicious. His brain just wasn't ready for
I
them.
wasn't right. Yeah, then he goes back in for a handful. I'm like, could you please clean up your debris? Good Lord.
Now my brain is ready. I've accepted it. I've Control-Alt-Deleted, and I expect pretzel M&Ms.
Let me come in hot now and enjoy these pretzel M&Ms.
Right. I don't know if all of them take 16 hours to make, but M&Ms in general take 16 hours to make. But because of the machinery, they can make 1 billion a day. Thank God, because they are delicious.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
Q101.
It's Brian and Kenzie on Q101, and this audio has perplexed me and Case for 2 days. 2 days. And deciding whether we should play it on the air or not. And now we've decided yes, and we played it for Kenzie to get her take on it. And it's basically about revenge dating to get someone you love or like back in the picture by dating somebody else. That they might be mad that you're dating that person.
Right. Or just to do it just to piss them off.
That too.
Just revenge in general.
And never go back with that other person.
Yeah.
Just you're done.
Just like revenge.
So here's the audio. It's Kelly Stafford, who is the wife of Matt Stafford, the NFL Super Bowl winning quarterback with the Lions for many years, as obviously our Bears fans know. Then he went to the Rams, wins the Super Bowl, and deservingly so after 15 years of service with the Lions.
It's like he did a tour of war.
A prison term. Then he gets a Super Bowl, and they have a great marriage. I believe they have 4 kids.
That's a lot.
And they're a fun...
Yes, it is.
4 girls, too, I believe.
Woo-hoo.
And they're just really fun to watch. They're likable. And she's kind of wild. She's showing some wild side stuff. And she talks about in college when they were dating, because I believe he went to Georgia.
He did.
Yeah, so they were dating in college, and they were kind of going in and out of dating seriously or not. And she said what she did to get his attention.
Wait, so was he trying to casually date and you were all in?
Oh, yeah, girl. Anyways, long story short, it wasn't that cute of a relationship at first. I hated him. I loved him. I dated the backup to piss him off, which worked.
Yes.
He was like
That'll do it.
He was the bad boy, too. Like, Matthew's so sweet and Southern gentleman and all that stuff. And the backup was the complete opposite.
Yeah.
Ooh, and it upset him. So they lived in the same dorm because athletes lived in the same dorm, and he would see my car there. And so at one point, he, like, waited and followed me out and got in my car and wouldn't get out. And he was
You're
like,
this is so hot.
I was like, this is amazing working.
Yeah.
I was get out of my car and he was like, he's not right for you. And I was like, what? You can't tell me that.
So she starts dating the backup quarterback, and then he doesn't leave her car.
Love it. So she did everything right in this scenario. This is fantastic. This is flawlessly executed. I'm just like, wow. Play-by-play is fantastic on
Is she
this.
an American hero in your eyes?
But, I mean, way to figure it out. You're dating the backup quarterback. Awesome. Same team. Love that. Also, they all live in the same dorm. This is crucial that he sees your car in the parking lot. Very helpful. Otherwise, he can talk himself out of the fact that maybe you're not sleeping with somebody else. Now he knows. Perfect. Well done. And I love also dating somebody polar opposite personality. It's going to bother them, right? It's always the guy who's not doing right by you. He's like, well, that guy's not right for you. And it's like, well, neither are you. You're not behaving correctly. So that's fascinating. I love it. She really figured this out in a great way.
It's an amazing take that you took from that. Because me and Case heard this audio and goes, if we were in that situation, what would we do? If we were Matt Stafford and your girl that you liked starts dating the backup quarterback,
yeah,
and both of us agreed, we would just go, Well, she might like him. They must get along better. I wish him the best.
Yeah, I tip my cap to you, sir. Congratulations.
I don't think
This isn't true. That's not true. I'm going to tell you why. Because you're thinking of approaching a woman at a bar, and so did another guy, and she called him instead. Yeah, you're not revenge dating in that scenario. They were a couple, and he dropped the ball because she wanted to be more serious, okay? So now, in his eyes, it's like, ugh, I messed up. I could have had her. Now someone else has her. And unfortunately, especially at this age, these are not typically, your 40-year-old games. These are younger. This is different tactics when they turn 40. But they don't take things seriously often until it seems real that you're actually going to be gone. So this is a smart thing to do because she really, really liked him and wanted to be more serious. He probably wasn't concerned that was going to go anywhere. You have to make the threat real.
Brian, I think Kenzie's onto something, and I want to throw a scenario your way.
Amen.
Maybe this will help us understand it, because you and I are not the revenge dating types. You and I, throughout life, I think have been like, oh my God, a woman wants to spend time with me. We don't try to double our odds. We don't try to get two women to spend time with us.
Well, also, if she started dating the backup quarterback, I would just go home and play Halo.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's what she wants, and whatever happens, happens.
I'm going to go home and play as the backup quarterback in the college football video game. That's what's going to happen.
Correct.
But imagine if you did something that pissed your wife Megan off, and she left. Let's say she moved out temporarily. She left home, and she started seeing me. You probably lock yourself in her car and say, "Hey, this is not the guy for you, honey. Take me back. You need to come home."
Listen, you would start slaying like you don't even know what he does in private. I know what he does in private. If Case was fucking your life.
I'm processing all this right now because you blew my mind a little bit on that one.
What
If
happens
Case blew Megan's back. Just imagine.
if you have a Mac computer, when it freezes and it gives you the rainbow wheel, that's what Brian's head just did.
Yeah.
He couldn't compute this for a second.
The problem is, I wouldn't lock myself in a car and say, Case is wrong for you. They'd be finding your body parts in dumpsters.
That's what I'm saying. Now you're understanding what we're doing.
I think I understand the project now.
There you go.
Yeah, I
And
think I got
suddenly
it.
you would want your wife more, right?
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
See?
But I want her a lot now. I mean, you scared me already. Is something going on I don't know
I know
about?
she's going to get flowers. And just talking about it. It's men, unfortunately, not all of them, because I know there's going to be like, I already appreciate her. I get that. But a lot of men don't take things serious until it's actually a threat. You're like, what's she going to do? And then when she does it, you're like, well, that's not good. And then you realize what she's going to do or what she could do. And sometimes you have to dangle that there to create a sense of urgency. I think it's a little bit natural because, like, men, not you guys, are supposed to be hunters. And I think that's why guys often are good at pursuing the relationship. It gets them like all into it. And when you create that feeling again, it gets like, I don't know, it gets like the testosterone pumping or something. It's crazy.
Frank checked in actually interesting at 224. He said, didn't Megan do this to Brian when she told him to get a passport?
Wow.
Because she said, otherwise I'll be going all over the world with my friends and not you. And I got a passport.
Yeah,
It's a little
did you
bit.
want Megan's fine ass in other countries with other women without you? Exactly.
I want that.
Same concept.
Okay, I think I finally understand it. It took a minute. We've been listening to this audio for days, and all I can think of was dating the backup quarterback made Matt Stafford eventually go to her and win her over. And they've been married for, I think, 15 years, 20 years,
Yeah,
close
just
to it
about,
now,
yeah.
with 4 kids, and it worked out. And you can join this conversation at 312-591-8300. I'd love to hear more examples where this worked out, revenge dating.
Well, I've done it.
Of course. Of course you have.
Well, I did it only for revenge. I didn't do it to get somebody back because I didn't want the person back. So my high school sweetheart going into college cheated on me.
Oh, boy.
Okay. And
That's-
yeah, well, I got
Sorry
cheated on a lot.
that
That's like-
happened.
Shocker.
He went beyond cheating. He actually got somebody pregnant. And then tried to convince me he didn't cheat on me. And I go, I don't know what you think I think about. Like, I know where children come from. You trip and fall into her. Like, I don't know what you're trying to sell me right now. It's begging dreams.
It's kind of like dusting for evidence of cheating a baby is that.
Yes,
Yeah.
very much so.
No, I think you did.
It's
And
science.
I'll never forget because he goes, no. it was just one time and we had gotten in an argument. And I said, so for 5 years have you been sleeping with people every time we got in an argument? Did you think that every time we disagreed, you've been sleeping with people? I didn't know.
Listen, I do respect him coming with that comeback.
Oh, I love the logic behind it.
It was just one time because we got in a fight. Hey.
I was like, do you think? I'm like, oh, it was the time we argued? Never mind. I got plowed by everybody until like, what are you talking about?
Remember when we couldn't decide to go to Chipotle or Jimmy John's?
That's when I slept with her.
Yeah, that was it.
Got it.
Yeah.
So anyways, he really wanted to be a professional athlete. I won't even say what sport. But like that's what he was going for. It didn't happen. Spoiler alert.
Must
By
have
the
been
way, me
badminton.
too.
Yeah.
So after he cheated on me and got a girl pregnant, I dated his favorite player that he like aspired
His
to be.
favorite player?
Yes. In the sport.
Can you say what sport?
Football.
So you dated Joe Montana after that.
I'm not gonna say what. But I dated his favorite player, and I was trying to get him back when I was trying to get him back. You
Sure.
know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm not raising your child, but
From the whore.
yeah. Well, it was more him than her. She sucked too though, because she knew me. But anyways, it's a whole deep dive.
Wow, there's a lot to the story.
That's a lot. But yeah, and boy, did he dislike that. I got messages for an extended amount of time. That baby was alive, and I was still getting text messages about that.
It was a live baby. It
was
the evidence of cheating. It was growing up. It's a person now.
Yeah, it was growing up, and I was still getting texts.
All right. Well, I'd love our listeners to chime in on this too, because I guess me and Case are still baffled on this idea of revenge dating to get to somebody that you want, or in Kenzie's situation, just for payback. But
Yeah.
312-591-8300, you can join this conversation because if it worked out for you, great success story. Share them.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q 101.
Coming up after the break, about 10 minutes away, we will give you the Glass Animals keyword, a chance to see the Glass Animals in Nashville, a free trip, VIP style, coming up for you. So 8:20, we'll have that for you. Now, we were talking about this piece of audio we played from Kelly Stafford, the wife of Matt Stafford in the NFL, and how they were dating and they were falling off a little bit. And so she started dating the backup quarterback to get his attention, and then that pissed him off, and he got in her car and said, he's wrong for you, and now they've been married for 20 years through the NFL with 4 kids, and it's a happy marriage. Revenge dating got her husband, and me and Case were baffled by this, and Kenzie apparently not baffled at all. And
No.
perfect execution, as she said.
Flawlessly executed. No flag on the play. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Kelly Stafford, very likable, very fun girl, and same with Matt Stafford, too. They're a great couple. So just looking for your conversation with this, and John from Kankakee has something that relates in this situation. John, ahoy, what's going on?
What's going on, guys?
All right, well, tell your story. About revenge dating? Is that kind of where you're going?
Yeah, kind of. So I had a big group of friends. All of us guys, we always said we wouldn't date each other's exes or go after them or anything like that.
That's a good rule, by the way. That's called guy code.
It is. So my son's mother at the time, we were broken up, and one of my friends tried to buy her a bunch of drinks at the bar and was trying to get her to come home. She, is a fairly tall girl, and he was kind of short, so she wasn't interested. So she told me about it the next day. And so his ex at the time decided to start calling me up, and I decided why not, and I went ahead and slept with her.
Whoa!
Oh, damn.
Okay.
Jeez, I bet the mother of your son was like, well, I really wish I wouldn't have told him. I didn't know he was going to get
Yeah,
revenge.
she was pretty upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just because he made the attempt and failed, you went through with it.
Yeah, I figured I should do that.
Layup. Woo!
Okay, so how did it play out after that?
Well, she ended up telling him because, she was probably just using me because, to get back at him for something, who knows. So it came out about it, and he asked me about it, and I didn't hide it. I said, well, you tried, and I succeeded.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Are
Put
you
your
good?
American flag on the moon. Look at you go.
Now, are you guys still friends because you broke that code? You're not friends anymore, or what?
No, we're not.
Oh, you should have just wiped the slate clean, tit for tat. I mean, I guess he didn't get the
That's what I
tat. So he's upset.
He didn't do tit or tat.
He didn't get the tit or tat.
Yeah.
He got back with that girl, so they're kind of together, live happily ever after, so,
Oh, no. And now you're Eskimo brothers, and he's just going to live with that with his wife.
Hey, he shouldn't have messed around. He fucked around and found out.
Okay. What he said, I'm going to translate.
Yeah, could you please put that in English terms, right?
He said he effed around and found out.
Yes,
well
he
said.
did.
The Brian and Kenzie Show.
On Q101.
Brian and Kenzie on Q101 tonight. What an exciting night. A huge night for Chicago. As at 8 o'clock, The Bear Season 3 drops.
Woo!
Now, it was supposed to be at midnight, they announced a while ago, but they've moved it up to 8 our time. So it will drop on Hulu, the whole series. And we've all agreed, myself, Case, and Kenzie, to watch episode 1 tonight, and we'll talk about it tomorrow at this time. Because obviously, season 2 ended with a cliffhanger.
I can't wait. I mean, very few shows get me this excited. Barry on HBO was one of them, but it's been a while, and The Bear fills a void in my heart that I have desperately missed, and I am so excited.
Good, you always wanted to be a chef.
Well, that's the thing, is The Bear changed the way that I go to restaurants, because now...
You had seasoning.
Well, yeah, I discovered seasoning.
It's a whole new world, isn't it, honey?
Well, to your point, it is very funny now because when I go to restaurants, and a lot of Chicago restaurants have it where you can see them cooking with the open kitchen, and I watch them now and go, well, that's Jeremy Allen White from The Bear. That's the guy. That's the guy at the restaurant where everybody's going like, well, yeah, you're him. You're the Bear.
You know what I think when I'm at restaurants now? Specifically, I was just at Rosebud's on Rush, which is a lovely establishment. They have great gluten-free pasta if you're in the market for that. But you can see into the kitchen there. And after watching The Bear the last time I was there, I had the thought of, oh, everybody in that kitchen is insane. They're all just like the people on The Bear. They must all be out of their minds, and I'm so glad they're making my food.
And it's kind of funny when people that have watched the show that worked in the restaurant industry, they don't like it because they get PTSD from it.
It's like World War II veterans watching Saving Private Ryan. It's literally the same thing.
I haven't gotten past the Christmas flashback episode.
Yes, so for those that don't know, in season 2, there's a Christmas...
Pause.
Yes?
Spoilers are coming.
I'm going to try to avoid spoilers as much as I can.
I know it's before I get all the angry texts.
No,
and proceed.
It'll be okay.
Kenzie, why'd you spoil it? No, it was Case.
I'm never going to watch The Bear now.
Yeah.
But in season 2, if you grew up with a dysfunctional family, and I would imagine if you spend your mornings listening to us, you probably grew up with a dysfunctional family, because we all did, and it's okay. It is the most traumatic yet accurate and strangely comforting telling of what happens when crazy families get together on the holidays. And that episode, I went through the same thing Brian did and that Kenzie did. It exhausts you. It feels like you went through a heavyweight fight, but the show turns around and you come out better for it.
I don't know. It does turn around. The next episode is so uplifting and spiritual compared to that episode.
Yes, exactly.
I needed to wait a week.
Brian had already drank the poison, so it was too late.
Oh, yeah. It was rough. Ironically, Jeremy Allen White, of course, in Shameless, had another dysfunctional Chicago family he was a part of. I mean, really dysfunctional.
And then he was in The Iron Claw, which is not a Chicago-based show, but a movie about the Von Erich wrestling family, who, spoiler alert, dysfunctional.
Uh-huh. So,
well, you're just ruining everything.
Trust me, that's not a spoiler.
Here's the trailer for season 3 as it's tonight at 8 o'clock on Hulu, dropping on Hulu, the whole Bear.
Feel good?
You feel good?
Gonna see. We're open.
Let's fire Cavatelli.
Enjoy.
Fire Wagyu.
Take your time.
Just bear with us one more second.
Refire.
I'm getting drilled out there.
Where are hands?
This is a dysfunctional pit show.
Show me a functional one.
Show me functional. So there's dysfunctional word again right there in the trailer. There it is. And here is Eben Moss Bachrach, who plays Cousin on the show, who was on the Seth Meyers show, talking about Chicago and how he kind of doesn't need to go to makeup. He just goes to lunch in Chicago, and that's how he looks like he does for the show. It's great.
This is a Chicago show. You look different seeing you here in New York than you look on the show in Chicago. And it's not just makeup. You're living a different life.
I think on like a dietary, like my blood's changed.
Yeah.
You lived in Chicago,
I lived in
right?
Chicago. I went to Chicago for 2 days this weekend. I feel like my blood changed.
Yeah, it's a lot. My sodium levels go like through the roof. I kind of like it for Richie to have a kind of sort of ruddy, puffy, kind of swollen, sort of like.
Yeah.
I feel like he's sort of like half man, half hot dog. You
Yeah.
know? Like I'm realizing now as I describe. But it's also like a pleasure to do that in Chicago.
It really is.
Just
The way you can eat bad in Chicago is one of the best things in the world.
Yeah.
I like that you basically made a choice. You could either sit in makeup for 3 hours a day or just have a regular Chicago lunch.
It's amazing. Tonight at 8, it drops. And just so you know, the first season received 10 Primetime Emmy Awards, including Outstanding Comedy, Outstanding Lead Actor in a Comedy, Outstanding Supporting Actor, Outstanding Supporting Actress, and still holds a 99% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes as a TV
That's
show.
hard to do.
Very hard.
Yeah.
99%. It kind of brings the question to us of the Mount Rushmore, which is 4, by the way. There's 4 people on Mount Rushmore.
Thank you, Brian.
Just verifying. We've had arguments over why can't we add a 5th. There's 4 of Chicago TV shows / movies. We could put movies in there too. So,
Well, that makes it even harder.
yeah, it does. Because when I thought of this at first, I'm putting the Bear on the Mount Rushmore of Chicago TV shows.
Have to.
Well, now it's full because the rest have to be already taken. So
For you, they are?
yeah, so
Okay.
then it's done.
What are your other 3 on the Mount Rushmore?
Well, I'm probably gonna get some heat for this, but I think it has to mainly be our holiday movies. Christmas Vacation.
Yes.
How could that not be there? I would say Home Alone. It's become a tourist attraction to go see the house.
I've seen it. I've done it.
And for me, now this is me. I don't want to get drugged behind a car or anything.
Well, that's a
but I
little
would say-
aggressive. If people are going to do that for your Mount Rushmore choices, we got bigger issues.
Okay, I would say Trains, Planes, and Automobiles.
Wow. I did not
That's
expect that coming.
That's like my favorite.
It's hilarious. It's amazing.
I love that movie, and it means something.
All right. That's Kenzie's Mount Rushmore. Case,
And
what
now
is-
the Bear.
And the Bear. What is yours, Case?
I think you have to have Bozo on the list. I would put Bozo as
Wow.
a television character. Bozo is Chicago.
Right.
Yeah, you got to put Bozo.
You, have the you also have the Bear?
I've got the Bear.
So
the
Bear-
Bear is
All
Chicago.
right, drag Case behind a car because I don't like it. I don't like it.
I would put High Fidelity on there.
Ooh.
Because the thing with High Fidelity is, I grew up in Indiana, but I moved to Chicago to come to college, and I watched High Fidelity my freshman year of college as a music-obsessive, list-obsessive guy, and I thought, man, this speaks to me. This is my kind of movie. This is really good.
Right.
So I would have The Bear, I would have Bozo, I would have High Fidelity, and I would have Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
I think...
That's fair. That's the best of the ones you listed.
Thank you. Well, sure, I'll take that. I think one of the funniest scenes in movie history, and granted, I've only seen a few movies. I've seen Ferris Bueller, Boys in the Hood, and all the movies I've reviewed on this show.
Sure.
But when the principal is running down the hallway and he has to walk by the classroom door so the students don't see him running because he has to follow the rules of the school in Ferris Bueller, that is my sweet spot. That is one of the funniest things I have ever seen, and for that alone, Ferris Bueller goes on the Mount Rushmore.
Wow. All right.
I said, somebody said, and I have to just disagree with this. You can't say Batman because it's Gotham City. I think if you're gonna mount Rushmore, it can't be fake. Like it has to be Chicago. I feel like.
But it is Chicago in the new movie.
No, but if I know it was filmed here, but I'm saying you have to own that it's Chicago. That's part of it. Like that's the vibes. Like you can't. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, here's the
If
thing.
you filmed Lord of the Rings in New York City, you couldn't be like, well, Lord of the Rings is the best New York City movie. It doesn't matter. Like you're just on a set. That doesn't count.
See, here's the continuing of that debate is the Matrix a Chicago movie because they're in Chicago and the street. Like
But
they'll
do
say
they own Chicago? I don't remember that.
they don't really, but you'll see signs that say like they're on when they're doing their chase scenes. They'll be on the phone going like he's going down Kenzie Street right now. They'll use Chicago street names in the movie because obviously the Wachowskis were from Northwest Indiana and they filmed it here, or at least they wanted Chicago to be a part of it.
Now, from TV show wise, one that you kind of forget about because it's halvesy, but they own it and they film here is Ozarks. That's where they
Ozark.
started. They started in Chicago, and there's scenes in Grant Park and at some of the. They used, I think, the Aqua Building for the suicide scene because of the balconies. Oh, spoiler!
Spoiler! Kenzie spoiled
I didn't even
it.
say who.
Kenzie, I'm not even gonna watch Ozark anymore. What the hell?
Drag her behind a car.
Get her!
Get her behind the car.
Get her!
All right, so I'm going to go with Mount Rushmore. I'm putting the Bear on there. Okay. As far as another TV show, I'm going to do a couple movies and a couple TV shows for Chicago.
Well, you only get 4, so you have 3 left.
3 left. Okay.
You can't do a couple of each.
And you guys chime in at 312-591-8300.
He
Okay.
You can't list. He's like, I have 15 more.
Brian's Mount Rushmore is a grocery list.
I know.
Okay. I've got to do Chicago PD, the early seasons when Hank Voight was really an a-hole.
Before the show got wussified.
Yeah, but before he got clean and became a good cop. But when he was a bad cop, oh my God, the first couple seasons of Chicago PD were incredible.
I love, because I don't watch Chicago PD. It's not something that's interesting to me. But your review of the show is that it's got worse as time has gone on because the police officers have become better people.
Yes. Give me the real cop. Give me Hank Voight. Now I'm going to put 2 movies on it then. And I could not do this list without putting The Fugitive in there. The Fugitive, these are old movies I'm going to put in there for Chicago movies. Well, I guess all of us did with like Ferris Bueller and stuff too. But The Fugitive is the pinnacle Chicago movie. But even more so, The Blues Brothers, which is 44th anniversary.
That's fair. That's the best one you listed.
So I got to put The Blues Brothers. I got to put Fugitive. You ever seen The Fugitive all the way through, Kenzie?
God, I don't know.
You need to watch that with Case.
Let me look it up.
Oh, The Fugitive is so good.
Let me look at I feel like this guy running looks familiar.
The guy running?
Yeah, the cover.
It's Harrison Ford. Well, there was an old TV show, then it became a movie, so I'm not sure what you're looking at. But
I'm looking at a guy running, but that looks familiar.
It's probably Harrison Ford, who was Han Solo in Star Wars. If that helps.
Wasn't he also Indiana Jones?
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I know him.
That's the guy running there you're looking at?
I recognize Indiana Jones running.
Yeah.
Is Indiana Jones in Chicago?
Yeah, he runs in a lot of movies.
Well, he was in Indiana.
Yeah. What's your Mount Rushmore of Chicago TV and movies?
Did you give 4? The Fugitive, Chicago PD, The Bear, and what else?
Chicago PD,
The Fugitive,
The Bear, The Fugitive, and The Blues Brothers.
Blues Brothers. Okay, got it.
Blues Brothers. There's no question. I mean, again, we're going back, but that's...
Somebody said Adventures in Babysitting.
That's a good movie. That's a really good movie. Check in here with your Mount Rushmore. You got 4 choices for it at 312-591-8300.
Brian and Kenzie in the morning. And Chicago's alternative all day.
Q101.